Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors lost to the Philadelphia 76ers 98-97, despite a great final quarter where non-star players shone. The Warriors had a disastrous first quarter, scoring only 10 points, a record low. In the final quarter, the Warriors played well, even taking the lead, but faltered in the last minute and were defeated. There was a positive point in the loss. Congratulations to standout players like Moses Moody, Pat Spencer, DeAnthony Melton, and Quinton Post, who aren't stars but shone in today's game and may earn more minutes in the rotation. Golden State Warriors accomplish embarrassing feat versus 76ers. The Golden State Warriors just set a record they'll want to forget against Tyrese Maxey and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Golden State Warriors suffered one of their most humiliating moments of the Steve Kerr era on Thursday night. They posted a shockingly low 10 points in the first quarter of their game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly's Tyrese Maxey outscored the entire Warriors himself with 12 points. Exploiting the absence of both Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, the Sixers stormed ahead 30-10. The Sixers handed the Warriors two unwanted distinctions. First, it was the lowest-scoring first quarter by any team this season. In addition, this was also the fewest points Golden State has ever scored in any quarter under Steve Kerr. The 2025-26 season has been a difficult one for Golden State. They continue to hover around the Western Conference play-in line amid age-related injury and a revolving search for consistent contributors. Curry has delivered elite stretches when healthy. However, inconsistencies from the supporting cast and defensive slippage have undermined the Warriors' efforts to stay competitive. Thursday's 10-point quarter was marked by stagnant offense, missed open looks, and poor spacing. The Warriors' embarrassing play underscored the challenges Kerr faces in stabilizing an aging roster. On the other end, Maxey continues to play like one of the NBA's brightest superstars. Entering the game, 76ers guard averaged 32.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists through 20 games. His 12-point outburst in the opening quarter against Golden State reinforced his ascension into the MVP conversation. His performance also showcased his elite shot creation and improved playmaking as he carries a shorthanded Philadelphia squad in a tough Eastern Conference. The Warriors need to invest in signing Trey Murphy III in order to make the playoffs. Trey Murphy III has quietly become one of the best two-way forwards in the NBA. If he joined the Warriors, he would bring defensive versatility and elite accuracy from beyond the arc, a perfect fit for Golden State's system. The Pelicans' rising star is averaging nearly 20 points per game. He would give the Warriors a much-needed third scoring option who operates both on and off the dribble. Murphy's game would fit seamlessly in their offense, feeding off Curry's gravity and creating valuable space. At 6'9", he would pair well with Green at the 5, helping Golden State guard bigger wings and stretchier frontcourt lineups. The Warriors had their eyes on Murphy during this past offseason, and a lot has changed since. With the Pelicans lacking control of their 2026 first-round pick, they may be forced to consider trading Murphy in exchange for assets and young talent. So a trade could definitely be on the cards. The Warriors will want an upgrade over Kuminga, something Murphy could certainly provide as an athletic, shooting guard who has shown improvement in individual playmaking and point guarding over the past 12 months. Their contracts are also incredibly similar, meaning Golden State could be just a few picks away from acquiring someone who would theoretically fit perfectly into their veteran core. How many picks New Orleans would want and how many the Warriors would be willing to give up is a completely different debate. Warriors announced Draymond Green news after leaving 76ers game. Suffered an injury. The Golden State Warriors remain in contention in the Western Conference, looking for another run with Steph Curry and Draymond Green still leading the organization. They entered Thursday with an 11-11 record, hovering around the playoff picture. Green is now in his 14th NBA season, all with the Warriors since debuting in 2012. The 35-year-old power forward has continued to be a force on the defensive end, using his elite court awareness, vocal leadership and ability to guard multiple positions to stabilize Golden State's schemes. 5.14. Offensively, Green remains a modest contributor, averaging 8.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 5.7 assists while shooting 38.3% from the field and 33.3% from beyond the arc through his first 19 appearances. The Warriors faced off against the Philadelphia 76ers on the road Thursday, extremely short-handed with both Curry and Jimmy Butler sidelined by injury. That left Green as one of the few veterans on the floor. In his first 9 minutes of action, he collected 3 points, 3 rebounds, and a block, but Golden State's offense struggled mightily, managing just 10 points in the opening quarter. Things worsened midway through the second quarter when, with 4:29 remaining, Green limped off the court during his second stint and headed to the locker room, apparently dealing with an injury. Concerns grew when he did not return to the bench for the third quarter, and moments later the Warriors confirmed he had suffered a right foot injury and would not return to the contest. The team announced on X, Draymond Green, right foot, will not return to tonight's game. Losing Green is a major blow for Golden State, not only because of his presence on the floor but also because of what he represents to the franchise. Over the course of his career, he has been a 4-time NBA champion, a 2-time All-NBA selection, a 9-time All-Defensive honoree and the 2016-17 Defensive Player of the Year. He has also earned 4 All-Star selections, cementing his reputation as one of the league's most impactful defenders and a driving force behind the Warriors' dynasty years. Now, with Curry, Butler and Green all sidelined, the Warriors' veteran core is battling injuries at the same time. Their health will be critical if Golden State hopes to make a deep postseason run, especially as all three are aging and the margin for error is shrinking. Green's status will continue to be closely monitored. How Warriors rookie Will Richard's winning habits turned him into a key role player. The 56th pick in the 2025 draft has climbed his way into the Warriors' rotation thanks to the work ethic he cultivated on his NBA journey. It has been a whirlwind last 8 months for rookie Will Richard. He led the Florida Gators to their third-ever national championship in April. 2 months later, the Golden State Warriors selected the 22-year-old shooting guard with the 56th pick in the NBA draft. By November, on an unsuspecting rainy night on the road in Sacramento with the Warriors veterans out due to a mix of injuries and load management, the second-round rookie scored 30 points in his first career start. "It's been a crazy 8 months," Richard told Clutch Points. "From winning the national championship to going right into pre-draft after that, went to Summer League, it's been non-stop, but it's been fun." Now, in December, Richard has carved out a role for himself on a Warriors team with lofty aspirations. Some nights, he starts next to the likes of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler, players he idolized growing up. Other times, he's more than comfortable off the bench and in the do-it-all, Swiss Army knife spark plug role he's shown he's capable of. To most of the NBA world, he has been a pleasant surprise. But for Richard and those who've been around him to watch his rise to the highest league in professional basketball, everything that has happened in the last 9 months is a culmination of years upon years of hard work and commitment. Foundation of work ethic. Richard's origins at Georgia. Richard's ascension to the NBA was anything but certain. "I thought he definitely had the skills to get there, especially as he went through college," Woodward Academy head coach Anthony Thomas told Clutch Points. "But if you'd asked me today, the first day I met him, I would say, no. But that shows you how much work he put in." The work began at 6 a.m. sharp in the morning in Woodward Academy's cold, empty gym in College Park, Georgia. For 5 or 6 days every week from junior year of high school to graduation, Richard's mornings were consumed with rigorous shooting drills with Woodward assistant coach Rob Lawrence. Thomas convinced Richard they were necessary if he wanted to chase his NBA dreams and set himself apart from the thousands of other kids who shared similar aspirations. "I just separated myself," Richard said. "Wasn't really recruited high in high school, so I knew little things like that would help me a lot. I felt a lot of confidence on the court just because I knew how much work I put in to get to that point." The work Richard put in included dropping from 230 pounds to a slim 195. Even with high metabolism, most teenagers do not just shed 35 pounds, even if they have a mother supporting them by cooking low-calorie meals of salmon and salad, as Helen Richard did for her son. And along with developing Richard's jump shot, Thomas helped Richard build the intangibles that would help him eventually become a deadly off-ball slasher with a knack for reading the ebbs of a defense. Thomas's teachings and Richard's commitment to the process culminated in Woodward's two-high-go special, the backdoor play for Richard lurking in the left corner that got Richard his first posterizer dunk against Oxford High School. Between the thousands of hours of shooting drills, practices, and school, there was always time for a munchy run to Pit Boss Barbecue, a mom and pop barbecue joint 5 minutes away from Woodward that Richard, future NBA center Walker Kessler, and their teammates would partake in. There's only so much dieting a 16-year-old can do. Regardless, what fueled him during those lucid and lonely mornings was internal. Thomas described the teenager as a workaholic when thinking back on his very first impressions of Richard. He was just ultra-competitive. To the point where I had to kind of look at him and say, "Hey man, let's be smart," Thomas laughed. I always said I would rather have to rein somebody in than pull it out of them. Richard's competitive fire helped earn Woodward Academy the Georgia 4A state championship in his junior year. And as a senior, Richard earned first-team All-State honors as a senior and finished his high school career with over 1,000 points and 90 wins. Finding his voice in the Everglades. Florida Gators assistant coach Carlin Hartman saw glimpses of Richard's work ethic and competitiveness when he and Todd Golden began recruiting the 20-year-old after his first collegiate season at Belmont, a mid-major program in Nashville. Sure, Richard's 3-and-D capabilities and 6 to 10 wingspan certainly enticed the Gator coaches in their goal to return Florida to the top of the collegiate mountaintop. But they were also searching for high-character individuals who could help instill the winning culture Golden and Hartman sought. Richard, on the other hand, sought something more than just helping rebuild an upper-tier program. I had a very transparent conversation with him about what I was expecting, what I wanted to come and do and how I wanted to use Florida to get to the next level, Richard said. Hartman kept it real, having said he was always going to have my back. He was always going to keep it honest. And it paid off for sure. Hartman remained honest with Richard's NBA ambitions. The kid was good. But he needed to get better. Hartman told Richard Florida needed him to learn how to come off a ball screen, to add 45 cuts and baseline cuts to his repertoire. He told Richard he needed to distinguish good twos from bad twos, to avoid the temptation of gambling with reaching ins on defense, and to master manipulating the pick and roll. But the most important thing Hartman asked of Richard was to use his voice. This is the thing I talked about as with his dad, Al, quite often, Hartman told Clutch Points. Al would always say that Will's by nature a very quiet kid. But I said to Al, the way that he takes another step is by utilizing his voice. Richard earned the respect of teammates through his solid play and a dogged work ethic. When he spoke, the Florida locker room listened. He became the voice of our program, quite frankly, especially in his last 2 years. He was the guy who was talking in huddles, he was the guy who was breaking down the huddles before the game. Richard's impact went beyond rah-rah speeches. He started 105 games out of a possible 108, averaging 11.8 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 1.2 steals on 46.2% from the field. And in the 2025 NCAA Finals, Richard scored a team-high 18 points on 4 of 7 from beyond the arc to secure Florida a national title. In the process, Richard and Hartman's relationship evolved from a coach and a player who saw eye-to-eye into a tight-knit, familial bond. On draft night, Hartman and his son Joseph drove up to Atlanta, Georgia to join Richard and his family when the Warriors selected him 56th overall. Will is extremely unique and extremely special, Hartman said. The fact that he was a guy who stuck with the process, believed in the process, believed in us at Florida, believed in me and my mentorship with him. I will always be forever grateful for that and for him. I call him often, Richard laughed. He's literally like my UNC. Jonathan Kuminga's agent simply cannot stop causing headaches for the Warriors. When will it stop? The Golden State Warriors have to be getting sick of Jonathan Kuminga's agent Aaron Turner. He played a major role in the acrimonious negotiations between Kuminga and the franchise over the summer, and is now continuing to stir the pot even after the situation was resolved. On Tuesday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder, Kuminga sat the entire fourth quarter as the Warriors attempted an incredible comeback over the best team in the NBA. Turner took to social media to criticize this decision from head coach Steve Kerr, writing, "What are we doing out here?" with a facepalm emoji. Jonathan Kuminga's agent continues to be a thorn in the Warriors' side. Turner followed that up by reposting another user's post about how Kuminga was a big part of Golden State's comeback, before questioning Kerr's decision to keep him on the bench in the fourth quarter. This is far from the first time that Turner has taken to social media to defend his player, and it seems unlikely to be the last. This is the way he operates, which has to drive the Warriors crazy as they try to defuse drama surrounding the Kuminga situation. What are we doing out here? Part of the reason Kuminga may have sat in the fourth quarter is because he seems to be nursing multiple ailments right now. He returned after a lengthy absence due to knee tendonitis, and now an ankle issue has popped up as well, leaving Golden State potentially being careful with him so as not to expose him to greater risk of injury. At the same time, there is always the debate about how well Kuminga meshes with the team and the offense that Kerr implements. Even though Stephen Curry is out due to an injury, which is usually a time when Kuminga can shine and sometimes even take over games, the young forward may not be doing what the coaching staff wants, which leaves them going to alternative options. While Kuminga got off to a great start this season, his play declined before he got hurt, which is only going to fuel speculation that the Warriors will be looking to trade him once eligible to do so in January. The tough thing for the Warriors is that Kuminga's poor play and injuries only hurts his trade value. They would have to hope that a team would take him based off what he has shown he can do in the past, albeit sporadically and never with the consistency he or Golden State would have liked. We will have to see how this whole saga resolves itself, but the fact that Kuminga's agent keeps going off has to be annoying for the Warriors as they try to get some sort of positive momentum going this season.